Methods for killing werewolves. Werewolves are mythical creatures that are said to have the ability to transform from a human form into a wolf-like creature. The ancient Greeks and Romans believed that werewolves were real and could be found in the wild. In more recent times, werewolves have been featured in many horror movies and books, making them a popular topic of discussion. This video will give an overview of the different ways people have tried to kill or cure werewolves in the past. The werewolf is a creature that has captivated the human imagination for centuries. According to legend and folklore, they are shape-shifting beings with the ability to transform into wolves at will. In more recent times, they have become popularized in literature and film as dangerous monsters that need to be hunted down and eliminated. Each method requires careful planning and execution if it is going to work, however some may prove more effective than others depending on the strength of the werewolf in question. No matter what method is used though, it's important to remember that hunting a werewolf should only be done by experienced hunters who know how to handle such an intimidating creature. It is important to remember that werewolves are people, too. They did not choose this life and it would be wrong to hurt them just because of their condition. If a werewolf is minding its own business, then it should be left alone and not harmed in any way. However, if the situation calls for it, such as self-defense or other defensive purposes, historical folklore gives steps that can be taken to protect oneself from an aggressive or dangerous werewolf. You may also use these methods to inspire you when writing a fictional account of a werewolf hunt. In either case, the safety and well-being of both yourself and the werewolf should always remain your top priority. But how do you actually go about killing a werewolf? Throughout history, there have been many different methods proposed for destroying these beasts. Here is a brief overview of some of the most popular methods. 1. The use of silver bullets to kill werewolves is a widely accepted method and has been known to be effective for centuries. Silver is believed to have magical properties that make it lethal against the supernatural creatures. It is also thought that silver has mystical connections with the moon, which gives it an even greater power over werewolves since they are so closely tied to lunar cycles. Even though werewolves possess thick hides which can protect them from most types of weapons, a bullet made of silver will be able to penetrate their defenses and deliver a fatal blow. In addition, some people believe that if you add herbs or symbols associated with protection or good luck onto the bullet, such as wolfsbane or pentagrams, then it may increase its potency in killing a werewolf even more. 2. Silver doesn't have to be used in a bullet to be effective. When creating weapons to battle a werewolf, swords, knives, and arrows are some of the classic choices for being dipped in silver before use. The purer the form of silver used on these weapons, the more effective they could become at killing or severely weakening a werewolf when struck with them. It should be noted that while this method may work well against smaller lycanthropes such as wolves or coyotes, larger species such as bears may require stronger forms of weaponry due to their increased size and strength. 3. According to some legends, holy water can be used as a weapon against werewolves. It is said that when the creature comes into contact with the blessed liquid, it will experience pain and burning sensations similar to being splashed with acid. This isn't an entirely reliable method of getting rid of werewolves, however, while they may suffer from it, there's no guarantee that any lasting harm will be done. Furthermore, if the person wielding this weapon is not careful enough or doesn't have sufficient faith in its power, for instance by doubting their own convictions, then it could easily prove ineffective or even backfire upon them. In any case, using holy water to fight a werewolf should always be approached with caution and respect for its potential consequences. 4. Wolfsbane, also known as aconite, is said to be toxic to werewolves. It can be used in a number of ways depending on the desired outcome. To make a potion that can poison the creature, it must first be collected and dried before being brewed into an elixir or tonic with other herbs and ingredients. The resulting liquid should then be ingested by the werewolf for maximum effect. Alternatively, wolfsbane can also be made into a paste which could then be applied to weapons such as swords or arrows for increased potency when used against the creature. 5. If the legend is true, then exposing a werewolf to sunlight while in its human form can be an effective way of stopping it from shifting and making it vulnerable. Sunlight has long been seen as a symbol of purity and truth, so exposing a werewolf to it would essentially disrupt its ability to transform into its wolf-like state. This would allow for easier attacks against the lycanthrope, as they are unable to use their transformative powers. 6. An exorcism was believed to be a powerful tool in combating the evil spirit that was thought to cause a person to transform into a werewolf. This ancient practice involved chants and incantations, as well as protective rituals such as drawing circles around the affected individual with salt or holy water. In some cases, an exorcist might use herbs and oils believed to ward off spirits while they performed their ritual. It was thought that this would drive out the afflicting demon or force, freeing the person from their cursed fate of becoming a werewolf each night. It is also noted that sometimes an exorcism could kill the person being cured of lycanthropy. When the wolf dies, so might the person. The longer the person has been afflicted with lycanthropy, the more intertwined they are with the wolf, making separation more traumatic. 7. Burning a werewolf to kill it is one of the most popular methods for getting rid of them. It can be done in two ways, either by burning the werewolf alive or by burning their remains after they have already been killed. In both cases, only fire will suffice, as ordinary weapons and tools will not work against these creatures. When attempting to burn a live werewolf, it is important that you use an extremely hot flame so as to completely incinerate them before they can escape and regain their human form. Once burned, the ashes must then be scattered far away from where the creature was found so that its spirit cannot return to haunt you. Burning the corpse of a slain werewolf provides similar results but requires much less effort. Simply place it on top of some kindling and light it up with an intense flame until nothing is left but ash. A note: extreme fire can work too. It is highly unlikely that any werewolf could survive direct exposure to a nuclear explosion. 8. No matter what, all werewolves will eventually die. Whether it is through old age or by other means, no werewolf can escape the inevitability of death. As with humans, a werewolf's lifespan is determined by its genetics and lifestyle choices. It is believed that the average lifespan of a werewolf ranges from 80 to 500 years depending on their specific breed and circumstances. Although some have been known to live much longer than this due to extraordinary circumstances, ultimately every creature must face the reality of mortality regardless of whether they are human or wolf-like in nature. The best way for a werewolf to die is of old age, peacefully in his or her sleep. Unless you are forced to defend yourself, leave the werewolf alone and let them enjoy their life. Everyone goes through struggles you do not understand. This is true for werewolves as well. In conclusion, there are many methods that can be used to cure or kill a werewolf. People who want to fight werewolves should look into all of their options to make sure they are safe and successful.